Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, let's talk about this story about young Jeezy and the restaurant that he used to own in Atlanta. And this goes to the narrative that I myself and a lot of people my age, or I say at least with my thought process, no matter what age that you may be, it shows the problem with a lot of our society. And we put a lot of on the rap music, and people try to say, man, don't blame the rap music, blame society. I mean, come on, let me tell you like this. The stuff that we've been going through as a people, we've been going through this since the beginning of this country, since we were enslaved, brought over here, or born here. We've been going through it, racism, prejudice, discrimination, violence against us because of our race, of our color, and who we are. All this, we've been dealing with it forever. And I cannot recall looking in the past where the music was as destructive as it is right now. Because we've always had blues, or you can say all kind of music, but the blues, you had the R&B, hip hop up to a point, and any other jazz, any other form of music that you can think of that that we either created or had a major hand in creating or modernizing it or popularizing it. Our music wasn't like this. I mean, we had, you had songs about sex and drugs and things of that nature, but the way it is now, it's glorifying a lot of stuff that's destroying our community. So like I said, and everybody knows music gives you certain vibes. So I can remember driving back in the day and listening to, I say, Get Your Roll On back in the day, one day leaving work. And I'm jamming it, got my speakers in the back, and I'm looking down and I'm flying down the highway. Don't even feel like it, but it just, gives you a vibe. And then also I can remember, even recently, get off work, long days of work, at night, driving, don't want to listen to no rap music. You want to listen to some R&B, some old school R&B, or if you can find some decent new school R&B, or even jazz, or stuff like that, just to calm my soul, just to calm my nerves before I get home. So, I don't take all the frustration out, on my family or what have you. But like I say, people want to try to say the rap music doesn't create certain, you can't blame the rap music. Yeah, I mean, you can blame, well, it got to start with people creating it, and then you have people who promote it and put money behind it so it can be mass produced. And, it cause like destruction of our community. But I say that to segue to this because, young Jeezy is a popular rapper or former rapper. I don't know if he's still putting out albums, but, he rapper turned entrepreneur, making good money. And let's say put down the trap, got away from the trap and the rapping, doing good things, making millions, buying property, real estate all over Atlanta. You remember that verses he had with Gucci Mane, and Gucci tried to go out there and be all ratchet, and Jeezy looking like, why is this dude still acting like this and talking like this? This supposed to be like a little old friendly little quote unquote rap battle, make a little money, what I'm saying, perform our hits. And going on, but Gucci tried to start like an old B, but then Gucci I think came back later and saw that he was, wrong in what he did. I think he apologized for it. But again, Jeezy is showing a lot of growth. So when you go to this article, this is on the finance.yahoo.com. It reads, Jeezy explains how things went left after word got out that he owned one of the nicest steakhouses in Atlanta. Now, this was the problem. Why did he feel he had to hide, keep everyone in the dark about him owning a restaurant? Well, he already knew. he already knew. You tell your homeboys, you tell your people, you tell, people that follow you that you got this high end restaurant, and they gonna probably come and tear it up. But that's what and then he also probably did it because he probably want people to think he was a sellout or moving up, moving out or whatever. But Jeezy had better plans. And that's the thing. He had bigger plans than just sitting there selling drugs, standing in the hood, doing violent things. The man wanted to live. The man wanted to make good money and wanted to live. And use his proceeds to do something legal. And he should be commended for that. So it's sad that a brother had to feel that he had to hide that he owned a high-end restaurant from his people. But let's see why he did that. And it reads, if you can see, sometimes things may be left unsaid. While promoting his book, Adversity for Sale, You Gotta Believe, in an interview on the Daily Cannon Morning Show, Jeezy recalls the aftermath of going public about one of his previous ventures that he once kept private. The rapper and businessman used to own a high-end steakhouse, American Cut, in Atlanta, Georgia. Probably one of the nicest steakhouses there, Jeezy told host Nick Cannon. It had 3 stories, beautiful. It was like my best kept secret. He says, I remember when Nas was on tour and he stopped by and he was like, yo, you own this? This is crazy, he continued. However, Jeezy went on to share on the radio about his restaurant, which quickly took a turn. I went back there and you would have thought it was Freaknik, he said. It started going down. You go over there to eat and you start seeing cats you used to hustle with. And I'm like, oh my God, you go up to the stairs and they're trying to smoke weed. And I'm like, man, what are we doing? He said, outside of previously stepping into the restaurant industry, Jeezy has become well known in Atlanta for being in real estate. Say he uses old checks to buy properties instead of chains, watches, and cars. See, somebody done told Jeezy, or Jeezy was watching. You always hear, I remember hearing T.D. Jakes and other preachers would say, hey, if you can, I'm talking to all my street guy, my drug dealers, if you can sell drugs, you can run a Fortune 500 company. And when I first heard it sounded kind of crazy because it's like, it's not the same thing. One legal, one illegal. But actually, if you know how to run multiple people, have people working under you, counting money, make sure your money right, making sure they paid, making sure your product is good, coming in and going out, you can run a business. You can run a profitable business. And Jeezy has shown that. But the problem is he couldn't tell his people. No, that's not the problem. The problem is why he couldn't tell his people, because he knew his people. No matter how mad you want to get, you can hate on Jeezy, you can hate on me for saying this, but you can't tell everybody everything. Because sometimes people do it. Sometimes people will destroy what you got out of hatred and out of jealousy and out of ignorance. A lot of times your own people do not want to see you succeed. But I tell you this, I bet you Jeezy didn't have that steakhouse in the hood. I bet you it was in probably a restaurant row somewhere in a nice neighborhood. Hell, he said 3 stories and it was a nice steakhouse. But then he go on radio and tell everybody he got a steakhouse, and everybody from the hood comes and think he gonna get a discount, gonna get a hookup, probably up there complaining about how much the steaks cost. Wonder why he can't get a free drink, probably talking about the steak, probably saying the steak is bad, ain't, wasn't cooked right, doing all kind of stuff that, that we do to ourselves as a community. And I understand why he did it, because it takes me back to this one story, if y'all recall, of the video at True Kitchen out here in Dallas. And this is on CBS Texas, and it said Dallas video. If y'all remember, this is a couple years ago, said viral video puts owner of Dallas restaurant True Kitchen at center of twerking controversy. Y'all remember this? When the owner of True Kitchen had told these ladies multiple times to get off his tables, get off his furniture, get off my wall, and stop dancing, stop all that twerking and dancing and gyrating and acting like plumb fools. And then they wouldn't do it. So as this says in this article, it says after asking members of the group to stop more than once, Kelly, who was the owner of Kevin Kelly, who owns True Kitchen. Kelly then publicly admonished the women, explaining, I invested a lot of money into buying this building. That's first thing. When you put your own money into stuff, you want it to be respected. That's why a lot of times people say, giving people money, don't buy stuff. That's why they'll say, like, your kids, make them work around the house, give them like a little allowance. It ain't gotta be a whole lot. A couple dollars here and there, a couple of coins, so that then if they want something, they can buy it. Because if they buy it, they'll respect it more. I can give you a prime example of someone who kids, let's say they was living somewhere, and the kids were like, being kids, you can't blame kids. Kids gonna be kids. They're gonna tear up stuff. They're gonna be destructive. They're not gonna leave stuff laying around. You're gonna step on, wake up in the middle of the night to get you a glass of water out the refrigerator. There's gonna be a toy you're gonna step on and damn near kill yourself. But kids were tearing up stuff. She was she'd been told, chastised about it or whatever. Had nothing to say. Probably couldn't say because knew she didn't have the money to pay for it. But then you turn right back around, her kids messed up something that she bought. And it might have been like $10 compared to the hundreds of dollars they done tore up in this house. Her kids tore up something that made it cost her $10. Man, you thought she was about to kill them kids, hollering and fussing and stuff and everything. But it's because it was something that she had bought. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she didn't care about the other stuff, but she didn't raise that big of a fuss. Probably maybe out of embarrassment or something like that. But still, you made a bigger fuss over something that you bought compared to the stuff that these other people bought. But anyway, like I said, he said, I invested a lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves, he said before asking the DJ to stop the music. Kelly continued, somewhere our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? No real talk. So all this twerking and blank, take it to Prime. I think that was like Deion Sanders. But he's talking about a club though. Take it to Pink. Don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. Real talk. It said the speech didn't end there. Kelly went on to tell the group that 75% of my customers are ladies and I want men to show respect for themselves by how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the blank out of my restaurant. They say invited them to get out the restaurant. They need to keep dancing on the furniture against the wall. He said, don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. Don't do it again. Thank you. He said he apologized for the language, but not for calling them out. He also posted several other videos of the incident showing what the women were doing and how workers and management responded to him. Part of the lengthy statement from Kelly said later, as another video shows, a customer stood on her seat, placed her hands against the glass window and began to twerk. My immediate reaction was this woman could fall through this window and we could be the target of a lawsuit if she is injured. And see, that's another thing. Like I say, people don't respect. So they're going to get up here and dance and gyrate. They got upset because he called them out like he should have. But if they would have got hurt, they'd be the first one trying to sue him, saying that his furniture wasn't safe. Or the glass wasn't thick enough, or he didn't have a sign outside saying no dancing, no twerking on the furniture, so they can sue, so we can sue, and he can be shut down when all he was doing was providing a good, positive place for his people to go. Because people think that when you get black folks together, they don't know how to act. And in Jeezy's case, it was true. But what does this show you? This tells you that you can't save everybody. You can't bring everybody with you when you're trying to do the right thing for you and your people. A lot of times people get mad because our people move out the hood and don't look back. Don't come back to help. Don't build nothing in it. They always say, build, you make money, come back and give to the hood. There's a problem with that. It never works. You might say, oh man, you can come back to the hood, start this program, do this, that, and the third. And if you could save one person. Well, the problem is a lot of people don't have enough money to just save one person. They're going to put a lot of money in, a lot of time and effort. They need to save more than one person. That's a job for the government. That's a job for the government. Oh, you're taxpayers, but the taxpayers, you got to vote for the right stuff, not for a Democrat or a Republican or whatever party. You got to vote for laws and policies and for candidates that's going to somehow put these programs back in these schools so these kids can have after school programs to go to so they can learn trades besides just nursing, because hell, nursing and those CNAs and medical assistants, man, them jobs ain't paying no money. They're good to have, and you can have a job for the rest of your life. But man, trust me, those jobs for the long haul ain't what they cracked up to be. So you gotta, build off of it. But I'm talking about trades like HVAC, mechanics, welding, building, engineering, stuff like that. So you can make good money out of high school, and you don't have to worry about, paying student loans back for college. And you can start young with a family. And if you start young with a family, you can actually support your family and move to a good neighborhood. But like I say, that's for the government to do. But for individuals like you and I, average citizens, we try to maximize our efforts. So the thing is, the thing is this here. And I always try to go back to scriptures because it's the blueprint to life, but you got to see what the real story is. So if you look at like the story of Moses and getting our people up out of Egypt, a lot of people focus on the parting of the Red Sea and they try to do stories like how that happened, was it true, this and the third, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the real story. The real story is how, one, they got away from Egypt. The Most High didn't tell Moses to go into Egypt and we're going to destroy Egypt. We're going to take over Egypt and keep our people there. No. He said, let's get them up out of Egypt because this is a wicked place. Let's get them up out of there. Those who want to go, they can go. Those who want to stay. That's fine because you can't take everybody. And also, it's about that Moses was told that he was not going to see the promised land, but that if he get his people out, his next, his kids, all the generations behind will be taken care of, will reach the promised land and prosper. So you got to have an unselfish attitude to go along with that plan. And also, you look at the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where Lot and Abraham and them, they wasn't told that the Most High didn't say he was going to come in and just, destroy all the wicked people in Sodom and Gomorrah. He said he's going to destroy the cities. Matter of fact, I look at this, Britannical website. And let me read a little bit of it. It says, in the Genesis account, God reveals to Abraham that Sodom and Gomorrah are to be destroyed for their grave sins. That's in chapter 18, verse 20. Abraham pleads for the lives of any righteous people living there, especially the lives of his nephew, Lot, and his family. Now, Abraham negotiates with the Most High on behalf of the righteous in the two cities. The Most High first agrees to spare the cities if 50 righteous people can be found, and eventually agrees to spare 10 righteous people can be found. So basically, it wasn't like it was really a negotiation. It was more like, find me 50 people. You know what? Better yet, find me 10. Because he knew it wasn't 10 righteous people in that in those cities. Then it says 2 angels appeared as men sent to Lot in Sodom, but were met with wicked mob who asked for the newcomers. Lot offered the mob his daughters instead, but this only further enraged the mob, who are then struck blindly by the angelic guest. Finding only Lot and his family as righteous among the inhabitants, the angels warned Lot to quickly evacuate the city and not look back. As they flee to destruction, Lot's wife looks back upon the city and is turned into a pillar of salt. And the Quran kind of has the same story. It say Abraham pleads for Lot's people, but it's told the chastisement cannot be averted. Lot is grieved when the messengers tell him of the fate of his people. As in the biblical narrative, offered his daughters in vain to the mob. Righteous Lot is told to escape in the night with his followers, and is warned that his wife will suffer the same fate as the rest, because she wanted to look back, because she liked that twerking. She liked the twerking on TV, on the table and on the glass, put them on the glass. So what those stories tell you is, if where you're at is just, you got crime, but you got drugs, death, theft, a lot of disrespect. You don't sit there and try to build heaven in a place like that. What you do is you take your resources and you leave. But who you take with them, with you, like in the story of Moses and like in the story of Abraham and Lot, what you do is you take the righteous, Noah, same thing. You take the righteous with you, and let the Most High, or let them people destroy themselves. You can't take everybody. It's sad to say, but you just can't. Everybody can't know that you have a high-end restaurant, because all they're gonna do is come with you and tear it down. Now, I don't know if he said the restaurant went downhill from there. So I don't know if he sold it or if it went out of business because of that. But I'm sure all those people, all the hood folk coming in, didn't help. But this is just a story. It's one of them stories that, it's one of them tales that you pay attention to and you think about it. Because if you truly want the best for our people, you really can only take the best of our people. Now, I ain't trying to sound like no boule people. What they call it, the talented 10, or the black Greek clubs. I don't understand that black Greek. Why they couldn't find like Egyptian names instead of, following like Greek. That's them folk. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to do your own thing. But that's another story for another time. But you don't. But unfortunately, like I said, you can't do it you just can't do it in your old neighborhoods. You have to leave the neighborhoods and bring those righteous with you, so y'all can build something beautiful for your people. Unfortunately, that's just how it go. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy show, like, Pookie and Ray Ray and Pookie, they tried to bring him down, and they did. But the brother with the kitchen and cocktails, the true kitchen and cocktails, he was like, I ain't having that. Get out. Y'all can get mad, fuss and cuss, call me whatever. Like the turkey leg hut. Folks got mad at them because they had a dress code. Nah, man, I don't want that ratchetness out here, because when you bring that kind of, element to this environment, eventually all the elements follow. All the actions follow. Then you'll have the ratchet behavior. Then you have the hollering and cussing at each other, talking noise, scaring off customers, want to fight the employees, maybe in the parking lot fighting and shooting. You don't want that. You don't want no parts of that when you own a business and when you're trying to do right for yourself. So you just leave that where it's at. But anyway, like I said, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. With that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.